Welcome to Big Red Radio. This is Bet the Mortgage, where each week we give you our top 6 plays of the college football weekend. 3 picks each, 6 total, as I just said. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you never miss an episode, like the video, and comment down below your best bets of the weekend as well. Last week, I went 3-0. Zach, what was your record? I know you lost at least one. Was it?
1-2.
1-2. Okay, so I got to pick. Because you had I don't remember exactly.
State, Iowa State.
You had Nebraska.
I had Michigan State? Yeah. I had Michigan State, Iowa State, and Nebraska, right?
Let me see.
Maybe that's 2-1.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it a couple weeks ago. So I don't know exactly what you had, but I went 3-0.
I think I just rewatched it, and I think I was 1-2. I think I picked up the Michigan State one after.
Yeah.
But I think I was 1-2.
Yeah. But I went 3-0. I don't know what our total record is on the year. Very close to 500. Started out very slow. Have picked it up since then. At least I've picked it up since then. But as a whole, I think we're doing okay. My first pick. My number one pick on the board. My number one bet. Oregon -7 versus Washington. I know it's a rivalry game. I know it's a rivalry week, so you kind of have to throw the record book out, as they say. But I do think matchup-wise, Washington matches up very poorly against Oregon. Every time that Washington has played a very talented D-line this year, they've been held to very low scores. Obviously, Ohio State, it's a whole different animal, but they were held under 10. What's another one that they played? Wisconsin, who's playing very well right now, beat them just a couple weeks ago with a very good front seven. Like, they are not very good up front. They have a very good skill group with, Denzel Boston, Jonah Coleman, Damon Williams. But if you don't block up front for them, it doesn't really matter. And Oregon might be the best out of the bunch that they've played in that front. Definitely not defense as a whole. Ohio State is better, but just in the front seven, I think Oregon's very, very talented. So I think they kind of just... And they have a lot to play for. Also, if they win, they get maybe a home game in the playoffs. So I think Oregon comes out and shuts down Washington early and really not runs it up on them, but easily covers the 7 points.
Yeah, mine is going to be Utah -11.5 versus KU, I believe, right? That's who they play?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was one pick I had last week was Iowa State minus the points versus KU. I think, and obviously it showed, right? Like, KU is a bad team. We all thought they were okay in the beginning of the year. Utah actually is a very good team. At the start of, not even a couple weeks ago, some people were picking Utah to actually, go pretty far in the playoff, and one of the favorites to win the Big 12 title, and I don't think you're all that insane for thinking they can still do it. KU is on the very opposite side of that, and I'll get into this in another one of my picks. There's two types of teams right now in the playoff picture. The ones that are trying to save all their players, right, and aren't really worried about scoring all that many points. They're trying to win, get out of there, and save all their players. A little bit of load management. And then you have the teams that are, trying to prove a point. And I think Utah is one of those teams that's trying to prove a point, and putting 50 or 60 points on anyone in your conference is going to prove a point. So I think that's what they're going to try to do against KU.
Yeah, absolutely. My next pick is a very ugly pick, and it was very... It's hard to imagine how this actually happens, but I truly think there's no chance it goes over. LSU, Oklahoma, under 36.5, one of the lowest totals of the week. These two offenses are just brutal to watch. John Mateer, even before the thumb injury, I think he was making some mistakes, but since the thumb injury, their offense can't get anything going, and LSU's playing with, I think, a backup quarterback still, and even with their starter, was a very ugly operation. So not really expecting to see a lot of scoring here in this one. So under 36.5, as low as it is, seems like a lock for me.
Yeah, my next one's going to be Ole Miss, Mississippi State, under 62.5. I think there's two scenarios in this game, and I think they both win money here. The first scenario is that Ole Miss just comes out and wipes the floor with Mississippi State. I do think Ole Miss is in that position, though, right now, to where as long as they keep winning, they're going to be in the playoff. But they can't really, scoring a ton of points can't really get them any higher than they are right now, right? So they're gonna play that load management style. I think if they can get up by 30 plus on Mississippi State, I think that they're gonna stop essentially scoring. The other scenario is that Lane Kiffin is leaving, which I think honestly might be true. And in that case, maybe he's a little distracted. Mississippi State keeps this game close, maybe even comes in, almost upsets Ole Miss. In that scenario, and in a lot of scenarios where you're looking at that big of a rivalry upset, they're never high scoring, right? It's always sloppy play by the team that's rated much higher, which causes them to score not as many points as they should, and then that is what puts the worst team in position, right? And so if you look at the 62.5, that would need both teams to score like 30 plus here, and I just don't think that's going to happen if the game's close.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. My final one is a big spread. I've got a few, very low total and a very high spread. BYU minus 17.5 versus UCF. I think UCF is kind of limping their way to the offseason. They've got nothing to play for anymore. BYU kind of needs style points, I think, to get an at-large bid. I think they're going to make the Big 12 championship game. They need to win this game, which I think they'll do. Obviously, I'm betting on minus 17.5, but I think more than that, they need to kind of put themselves up higher, as high as they can, because I don't think they're talented enough to beat Texas Tech. And this game is a big way to do that. If you blow out a team like UCF on a Saturday, get the nation's attention, get the committee's attention, maybe get you high enough where you can still snag one of those at-large bids, even if you lose in the Big 12 title game. So I think BYU just absolutely kills UCF this Saturday.
Yeah, my final one is going to be, let me pull it up real quick, Indiana, Purdue under 54.5. I think this is the perfect scenario for the load management thing I was talking about. If Indiana, then they're done, right? Like, that's it, right? They're going to stop scoring. They're going to pull every starter they have on that field, and they're going to try to get out of there with even their backups, not even having a chance to get hurt, because Indiana wants to go win a national title. The last thing they want to do is for, Fernando Mendoza to try to go out there and score one more touchdown and, twist up his ankle and not be able to play in the playoffs. And so as much as they can keep their star players off the field in this game, that's their goal. And so I think, they're going to try to score the least amount of points to win as possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So putting those all into a parlay, if you guys want to do it, if you guys want to ride with a 6-pick parlay, you can pay it's plus 4,684, bet $10 to win 478. Real quick, before we get off here, I do want to rapid fire. It is rivalry weekend, so getting over some of the biggest rivalries in the country. Just want to predict who wins each one. Let's start with Georgia Tech. Zach, who do you think wins?
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
It's Georgia. Honestly, I'd probably take the Georgia points.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins easily. Texas A&M, Texas.
That's A&M. I think A&M has a shot at winning a national title.
I think Texas wins. I think A&M is pretty fraudulent. I think they're very close to what Indiana was last year. Have you seen they've played they've played 8. Sorry, I got this wrong. They've played 7 SEC teams so far. All 7 of them are the bottom 7 teams in the SEC. They've played every single bottom SEC team. And they've looked good doing it, but...
Right, that's the thing. Like, they passed the eye test. Other than the South Carolina game, like...
Texas will by far be the best team that they've played all year.
Sure, I agree. Yes, no doubt. But I think they're better.
Keep it going. Ohio State, Michigan.
As much as I'd love to see Michigan win,
it'd be nice.
I just think Ohio State's too good.
I know. No, I agree. Let's look. I think that's the last. No. Obviously, that's
but also, dude, Michigan won last year. Like, you can't.
I know.
I don't know.
Nuts.
But no, I do think Ohio State's just too good, and I think it's I think they'd rather, honestly, it might be crazy for me to say this, but I think they'd rather beat Michigan than win a national title right now.
Yeah, just because of the way it's gone in the past. All right, very
Right.
quickly, one more. Iron Bowl, Alabama Auburn.
Probably Bama trying to fight for
If
to be
they
the
lose,
first lost team in the playoff.
yeah, if they lose, they're out. Yeah, I think Alabama wins. I think it's going to be insane, though. I think it's going to be close. It's a 6.5 spread. Seems too much to me. Not enough to bet on it, but very close. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Follow the socials down in the description. Like the video, comment down below your best bets, and we will see you guys next week.